It's time for the Candlepin Challenge on Comcast SportsNet. Hi again, everybody, and welcome back inside the Woburn Bowling Dome. John Holt with Dan Murphy and Trina Fernandez on our new home, Comcast SportsNet, but the great bowling continues, Dan.
That's right. New place. I'm glad to be associated with them. Jeff Surette looking for 6 in a row. Getting that elite group with a number of wins in a row on the show.
If you're new to Candlepin and new to Jeff, you describe him as the Tiger Woods of the sport. He is that good.
He is.
And we'll get a chance to see him today. We'll talk to him in just a minute. But first, standing by with challengers, we say hello to Trina Fernandez.
Hello, John. Thanks a lot. Well, today we've got John Blais and Steve Vadney. And John, you've been on before. You were on the kids show, and now you've graduated. So how's it feel to be here?
It feels great. You get back to Candlepin bowling. I tried 10-pin out for about 3 months to get used to that, but Candlepin's the game, and I'm happy to be here.
This is where it's at.
Yep.
But we're glad to have you back and on the adult show.
Yes, it was fun against Steve Reno Jr. on the kids show, but I'm ready for the challenge now.
All right, well, we're ready to have you here. And Steve, you've been on quite a few times, so you could give a little bit of wisdom to John.
Yeah, well, go out and, like I say, there's no defense. Yes, I can't tackle him. Go out and do what he can, and we'll see what happens.
All right, your best offense is all you got. Back over to you, John.
Trina, thank you. Here now with Jeff. Jeff, it's been a remarkable run for you for a number of years on the show, and more recently at the World Team Championships, and looking for 6 in a row as the champ on this show. What is going so right for you?
Everything. Ball's coming out of my hand good. I'm getting some breaks, and that helps.
Well, it's good to have you back, and good luck today.
All right, thank you.
We're back with the Challengers match right after this on Comcast SportsNet. Welcome back. Glad you have made the switch with us to Comcast SportsNet for the Candlepin Challenge. Same format as always as we get rolling with the Challengers match. 1-game match. Winner advances to take on the reigning champ, in this case, Jeff Surette. It is John Blais, the 19-year-old from, you saw that right, Lynchburg, Virginia, to go first. Originally from the Sturbridge, Southbridge area. His family has moved down to Lynchburg, where he goes to school at Liberty University.
If he looks familiar, he is. He was part of our youth bowling a couple of years ago. Was home visiting the area, happened to get into the roll-off and made the show. How great is that?
Over to lane 36 for his second box. Drops 6. He'll be open on the first 2.
Of course, in Virginia, no candle pins. Father was telling John and I a great story about him getting into intramural bowling, where it was 10-pin down there. Out of 36 contestants, he finished second. Says a lot for Candlepin bowlers.
Making the transition and putting up scores in the 160s.
Now our first look in a few weeks anyways of Steve Vadney, Hall of Famer. 1, 2, and 10 for Steve.
Just the 10 remains. Steve joining us from Claremont, New Hampshire.
One of those areas hard hit by that ice storm several weeks ago. Make it a 10 box and an early single pin lead for Steve. Both bowlers vying for a chance to try to knock off our 5-time champ, Jeff Surette. 2, 4, 6, 10. Ideally, trying to want to split the 2 and the 4. Fine effort there, but still looking at the 6-10.
No marks yet for both bowlers. Steve with that early advantage, up 3 pins, 20-17. Back to John. Drops 9.
Leaves just that 2-pin. Chance for the first mark of the match. Ooh, just sliding to the left.
So it's only the 9 after that first ball knocked 9 down. It's a format that some bowlers like, others do not. The one game to determine the winner. Very little room for error. And it's a 2-game championship. The 2-game total, of which so far this season, the top 2-game total, 334, belongs to the reigning champ, Jeff Surette.
Tried to split the 2 and the 4 and came close to jumping that 2-pin into the 6. But he'll be open the first 4 frames, 34 pins.
Steve with an average of 122. Get the head pin and all 10. The first mark of the match. It is a strike for Steve Vadney.
You see a replay, no doubt about that one. Remember, 80 combinations of 3 marks in a row, same game, $50 and $50 for every consecutive mark in that string. And the big one is a piece of the $1,000 if you can complete 3 consecutive strikes. And the only one who's done it so far this year is Jeff Surette. But Steve Vadney is going to have a chance when he gets up there.
Now, young John Blais in a tough spot. He'll drop 5.
Yeah, he's got the 5-pin and then the back row, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Left with only the 10. Got it. His first 10 box up to 44 at the turn for John Blais.
Needs to get that first mark up. Facing a double strike in a 1-string match. Very difficult to overcome.
Cluster of 4 plus that 8 in the back row.
Ron has a big backswing so far that it actually turns his torso out a little bit. It makes it work though. 10 box, 54 through 6. Steve Vadney now, $1,000 ball.
Shooting for the triple. Split that $1,000 with Jeff.
I'll take $500 out of Jeff's pocket right now. Oh, it looked pretty good. The inverted triangle, 4, 8, and 5. This is for $50 if you can convert it.
$75 to $44 at the halfway point. That's a 31-pin advantage.
Not a bad start. 75, only the benefit of 2 marks, but they were consecutive strikes, which really helps the score.
Does a 7 go? Yes.
1 box too late.
3 strikes for Steve in the 3rd, 4th, now the 6th.
Just tripping that 7-pin. Big 9-pin drop for John Blais. Leaves a 7-pin.
Good opportunity for his first mark. Got it.
Needs to keep streak alive now. Solid 9-pin. Leaves the 5.
Pin away from back-to-back spares. Yes.
Got it. Sets himself up for possible bonus money. I don't know about him. When I was in college, I could use the extra cash.
Absolutely. Laundry, pizza, other things. Drop of 6.
2, 4, 7, and the 9. Piece of wood that should help him with the 9. Another piece just to the right of the left of the 2.
Total of 9 on the fill for Steve. Gets all 10 to move to 104 through 7. Bad box could give John a little hope going into the final 2. Steve hoping to avoid that.
7-pin go.
Does it.
Terrific spare in the 8th.
Steve very much in the driver's seat, ahead by 31. Both bowlers working off of spares.
A chance for $50 for John Blais. All he has to do is corral that 6-pin.
Blais has caught fire here late.
Oh, stay on. That's it. 3 in a row. $50 bonus money.
Just a couple on the fill. Half Worcester left. Final ball coming up for John Blais. Gets him to 110, so Steve Vadney has already surpassed that score. And he will advance, Steve will, to take on Jeff Surette. Hall of Famer to take on the young superstar Jeff Surette. That's our matchup for the championship this week.
Probably could safely say a future Hall of Famer.
I would think so. There he is, as loose as ever as he awaits his turn of the spotlight this week. Final box for Steve here in the challengers round. Last ball coming up. Three more. It's a 10 box. Steve gets to 138 and he takes it by 28 pins over young John Blais. The championship match is next on Comcast SportsNet. We're back on Comcast SportsNet, the new home of the Candlepin Challenge. Glad you're with us for the championship match this week as Jeff Surette seeks his 6th straight week as champion. He'll go against Steve Vadney, who just advanced with that victory over John Blais. Jeff from Drake, Massachusetts. Two-game championship match. Two left for Jeff. 2 in the back row, 7 in the 8. And he will post a 9 in his opening box. Drop of 7 leaves the 1, 2, and 4. Good opportunity for the right-hander to post his first mark. He does just that. Box 2. Spare for Jeff. Now to Steve.
Had a fine 138 in the challengers match, so I'd like to carry that over to the championship round. 1-7 and 9. Piece of wood behind the head pin should help him. Another one just to the left.
He marks in the very first box.
Steve has children older than Jeff.
Phil of 7.
To make it 2 in a row, he's looking at the 1, 2, and 4. Left to 4.
Each bowler with a mark to their credit, and it's Steve with the edge at the moment, though Jeff's about to fill his spare. Strong average of 133. He matches Steve's fill of 7. Make it 8. That'll tie it up at 27-27 through 2.
The 3-pin fell late and it might have ruined his shot. He's got the 1 and the 10 now, and the wood flattened out behind the head pin. Missed the object pin.
Slid by at that time, so it's a 9. Up to 36 is Jeff. Back in November, Jeff was part of a 9-man team from the U.S. that won the World Team Championship in Bangor, Maine. Wresting the title away from Canada, which had a good run as World Team champs. The Maria Subs team from Situate. Just an all-star cast of bowlers on that team, too, including Craig Holbrook and Bob Whitcomb, along with John Zappi and Jeff. Billy Travers, the former major leaguer, too, on that team.
It's ready to go for Steve Vadney, lane 35, right through the middle.
Every pin likely to be important in this match between two good Candlepin bowlers. Steve will have to settle for the 8 in the third box.
Off target to the right, leaves himself to 1, 8, and 9. No benefit of any piece of wood that would help. So he'll be open his 2 frames.
Two 8s in a row for Steve. And Jeff Surette with a 2-pin advantage at the moment, 45-43. Box 5 gave him 1 of 2 now for Jeff.
Going to try to split the 2 and see if you can throw the 2 into the 6, 9, and 10.
Three in a row open for Jeff. In fact, open in 4 of 5. A little uncharacteristic for a bowler of his caliber, which probably means he's going to bounce back very soon with a mark. I was trying to look real good. I was banking on the strike. He didn't quite get it for me.
Everything but the 4-pin.
Just as I predicted, a mark, spare in the 6th.
to take the rally killer title away from you then, because you predicted that before he even started the frame. Good call.
Box 5 for Steve.
Needs these two to tie it up after 5, then he'll face that spare. Jeff has posted in the 6th.
Takes out 7.
Very difficult, but not impossible because of the wood behind the 3-pin. He catches the 2. The wood could take the 2, 3, and the 10, just like that. Very nicely done.
Good, even, competitive Candlepin battle as we take a second look at that spare from Steve Vadney. And we step aside for a break. Back with more on Comcast SportsNet after this. Welcome back to the Woburn Bowlodrome. Our home remains the same here for taping the show, though we are on the new network. We invite you to join us here at the Bowlodrome for our next taping. We tape 4 shows in one day. That'd be on February 8th at 9 a.m.
That's right here at Woburn Bowlodrome. Get here early. Big crowd today. We expect just the same on February 8th. So come on down, join us. Say hello.
And that is a show traditionally where people bring flowers and candy for Trina, and Dan gets very jealous because it's just before Valentine's Day, so please consider Dan's feelings.
Jeff working on a spare and making a strike on spare.
Chance for 3 in a row, which means $50 in bonus money. I'd buy a couple boxes of chocolate.
$50 last week against Skip Brooks. And 2 of those spares were terrific spares. Not this time. 6 fill on the strike. So 98 through 8 frames. Now Steve Vadney will work on his spare in the 6th, trying to keep pace with the champ.
That is a fill of 6.
Not much. Play the wood in front of the 610. Really wasn't much there to shoot at.
Over to box 8 for Steve. It's the first of 2 games to determine this week's champ as Jeff shoots for a 6th straight week as the top dog.
Steve thought his results should have been a little better that time. 3-5-6 triangle, but the 7-pin in the left-hand corner. So it's a 12-pin advantage for our champ. As John said, trying to make it 6 in a row. It's the record, I believe, is John Zappi. 9 in a row. Are you kidding me? Those pins, like they exploded.
2 straight strikes in lane 35. Box 7, a box 9.
Conventionally, a right-handed bowler, you want that ball. His ball breaks a little bit from right to left, although it's almost straight. Want it in the 1-3 pocket. That one was in the 1-2, and they just exploded. Again, double.
And he will go for the triple with the bonus ball.
Carbon copy.
Now he already owns the $1,000 all to himself.
Well, he can take 500 out of left pocket and put it over into the right pocket. But more importantly, he's going to build up a substantial lead going into that second game with any decent fill on these 2 strikes.
Had just 53 for a half. And he's going to blow that away for the 10 boxes.
How about 90 the back half?
143 the total.
This one you think he might be bringing his B+ game. Throws an A+ half in at you.
4 horsemen left for Steve Vadney. 1, 2, 4, 7. What is Steve thinking after he saw that display of Candlepin bowling from Jeff down the stretch?
Especially when you're figuring it, after 6 boxes, he only trails by 4.
Jeff.
Hello, Jeff, you with us? He's someplace far, far away from here right now. That's what makes him so good, folks. I mean, it doesn't bother him. He just goes about his talent on the lanes.
Steve's going to be open final 4 boxes. 2 marks total in this one, in this game. And he's going to have a big hill to climb to catch Jeff in the second game. 143 to 102. We step aside, back with the strike challenge. Member of the audience bowls for $325. It is Thomas Britsky when we come back on Comcast SportsNet.
Hello and welcome back, everybody. It's time for the strike challenge, and today our challenger is Tom Bretsky. Tom, where are you from?
Billerica.
Billerica, so not too far to come today.
No, right down the street.
You bowl a lot?
I bowled duck pins for the last 10 years or so, but it's a little different.
Close enough.
Yeah. You get to use the wood here. The other one we don't.
Exactly. Well, you're up
Maybe
to
it will help.
$325 for a strike, so best of luck.
Thank you.
Here we go. Tom's name drawn from the audience members who filled out a form, and he's the one going for $325. Can he get the strike?
Well, that looked pretty good.
Good ball, but it drops just 5. So $50 for a spare.
Today's sponsor is for the Candlepin Challenges, the Super Bowl in Amesbury, Massachusetts. Leo family runs a great establishment out there. I'll tell you a little more about Super Bowl as the match continues. And it's $5.
$1 a pin for Tom Bretsky. Steve Vadney now will go first, and he has got quite a bit of work to do, down 41 pins to the reigning champion, Jeff Surette. Drops 8, the 5-8 remaining. Yes, early mark for Steve.
If you're in the Amesbury area, stop in and see Leo's Super Bowl. It's one of the few, or the only one, bowling center that has an actual working Candlepin machine that you can view in their game room. It's pretty fantastic to see one of the machines working.
Strike on spare for Steve. That's pretty exciting for him.
That's right. Leo Super Bowl also has a 90-person function room for parties with plasma TVs, DVD players, wireless internet. They do a great job out in Amesbury, Massachusetts. Leo Super Bowl, folks. Stop by and say hello.
$10 for the champ.
So So quickly, Steve Vadney is making a statement here, trailing by 41 after the first game. Jeff leaves the 5-pin. He's got a little guide to the left. If he misses to the left, that wood would help him. But yeah, right, Dan. Yeah, he's going to miss to the left.
No missing from this guy. Steve shooting for 3 marks in a row. Spare strike. Now he steps in the third, trying to rally back.
You know, I was always an advocate of if somebody throws a big score, I would like to be the next one in line. So he put, what are you, 332? Okay, I might be the next one in line. What are you, 302? That would have helped.
He's just so consistent.
Oh, great. That's worth $50. That's spare.
3 in a row for Steve. Spare strike, spare.
All of a sudden, he's creeping closer. Just 4 on that fill, though. And that wood is not good against the 1 and the 2. More of a hindrance than a help. He managed to get a 10 box out of it. 64 through 4. Jeff now working on a spare. And again, he doesn't want to make any mistakes either and give Steve a little ray of hope here.
Wood rolls off. He's left with a triangle leave.
Well, he hit the object pin, but drove that 3-pin straight back. Left the 5 and then 6. Well, Steve Vadney's got 18 of that deficit back. Right through the middle.
So while Steve is marked in 3 of 4, Jeff has been open in 3 of 4, and all of a sudden it's a lot closer. Career 7 for Jeff.
Lead now just 20.
Fifth box for Steve.
4 horsemen plus the 9, but a piece of wood behind the 1 and 2. It's one of those shots you almost want to miss the head pin and clip the 2 and the 4.
He did get the head pin and leaves 2 up.
Doesn't give you the full benefit of that piece of wood. If you hit the 2-pin, you got the wood coming off the right side wall. Gives him a 9 and a 73 at the halfway point. He's going to have to throw another 73, I think, to win this match. More importantly, he's got to put a mark up now. The pressure on the champ.
Skips it in there. Take out just 3.
After opening with 3, the next 3 frames he doesn't put a mark up.
Nine more, 2 9s in a row, and Steve is up to 82.
Two 4 left for Jeff. Can get by the wood. If he catches a piece of it, might not be a bad idea.
Doesn't need it.
No, he's just so accurate. He avoided the trouble out in front. Got by the fallen pin and corralled the 2 and the 4 for another mark. Second mark of this game. Drops 8. Have to check that piece of wood.
Leaves the 3 and the 5.
3-5 left for Jeff, trying to make it 2 in a row.
That's 3 marks total, all spares here in this second game, and Jeff has taken the momentum back from Steve after that early flurry in game 2. We're back with the stretch run next on Comcast SportsNet. Welcome back. 4 boxes remaining between Steve Vadney and Jeff Surette. Jeff with a comfortable lead. He has marked 2 frames in a row, so he'll go for 3 in a row when he steps back in momentarily. First order of business, though, Steve in box 7. Down by 30 pins. 9 of them go. Just the 4 up for Steve Vadney. Got it for Mark. His 4th in this game. Open with 3 in a row. Spare strike spare. Now another spare in the 7th.
I think he'd like to finish with 4 in a row. Little full, can't carry the 4 and 7. Just a 5 fill. So 97 through 7.
Tried to put some body English on that one.
Did.
It's a 10 box as he goes north of the century mark here in game 2 at 107 now.
Jeff, where the hold on here, you can look back at those 5 frames at that first game. We threw 90 while Steve was struggling and only had 1 mark in his final 5. 1, 7, 9, and 10 in the back row. Nothing is safe.
Wow.
Nothing is safe. I figured 8 or 9 box would probably be pretty good, but not Jeff. The wood comes off the wall, takes the 10, the 9, and all the way across to the 7.
Pin away from a spare. It would be his 4th in this game.
He wants this to turn and flatten out a little bit for that 9 pin, and it does. It's like you could just drive it straight back now. Mark in the 8th.
And it appears almost certain that Jeff Surette will make it 6 weeks in a row as champ.
To give you people a little tease about next week, next week's challengers, a Hall of Famer and a fellow who has won one of the championship shows. Dave Richards will be here along with Peter Flynn. 2 formidable opponents for our champ, Jeff Surette, next week.
If you're checking out the program for the first time on our new home Comcast SportsNet, we track the top 2 game totals all season. Right now, Jeff with the top 2 totals at 334 and 302, because the top 3 2-game totals, in other words, the top 3 bowlers, make our championship show at the end of the season in June.
That's right. The purse is much bigger there. $5,000 to the winner, $2,500 to the runner-up, and $1,000 to the one who loses in the challengers match, which will be the 3rd seed. Bowl against the 2nd seed. Top seed gets a bye.
final two coming up for Jeff. 139 in that second game for Steve. Nothing to sneeze at. He got the 241 total, but it will not be enough to dethrone the champ. Ten more to add to the total, officially giving Jeff the victory with one box to go. Can he add one more mark for good measure?
Snap the wood in front of that 3 pin and just missing the 7.
Another 10 box to 121. Rather tame score for Jeff in this game, below his average, but plenty to win. He takes it by 23. Back with the wrap-up after this. Welcome back to Woburn here on Comcast SportsNet. Jeff Surette wins again on the Candlepin Challenge, 6 weeks in a row.
6 in a row. You know, we understand the talent he has, the athleticism he has, the mental toughness he has is being overlooked, I think. And this is what it takes to win this many weeks in a row. It's the mental, because you're getting a new bowler, fresh blood against you each and every week. It's pretty tough.
We will talk with Jeff momentarily, but first we say hello again to Trina, standing by with the runner-ups. Trina?
Thank you very much. Well, I'm back over here with John and Steve, and we've got a special visitor, but we'll get to that in a second. John, it was so great to have you back on the show. How did you feel like your experience of being on the Kids Show helped you?
Yes, it helped me a lot to get the pressure off me, and I strung a few together at the end there, but just wasn't enough. So. Well,
you looked really good at the end of that string. How did it feel?
Yeah, I couldn't get the hammer to fall for me, but I felt good to at least get in the marks and string them together. So.
It was a strong finish. So, $200 from the ICBA for you, so congratulations.
Thank you very much.
We hope to see you back again. And Steve, who's this cutie?
This is granddaughter Gabrielle.
Hi, Gabrielle.
Say hi.
She's like, okay, I don't know about all this. So how'd you feel out there today?
I felt pretty comfortable. I had, I got off the head pin first game of the championship match there, and Jeff finished strong and put me in quite a hole, and couldn't too deep to get out of. And one thing, you've been around this game a long time. I was telling Jeff, and I don't think he realized it. He was about 1 year old when it happened. I bowled his dad on Channel 5 about 25 years ago.
Wow.
So it was, it was a little tidbit for him to know.
I know he's been around the game for a long time, and he's a tough competitor.
Oh, real tough. One of the best in the game now.
Yeah, a pleasure to watch. Well, both of you today. $250 for you, Steve, from the ICBA, so it was good to see you again.
Thank you.
Back over to you, John.
Hey, Trina, thank you. Here now with Jeff, 6 weeks in a row. He didn't light the world on fire in this one, but plenty enough to win.
No, I'll take my shot with about 260. That's a good number, it's enough to win. And if not, then the person beat me.
Well done against a good bowler in Steve Vadney.
Thanks.
Jeff, we always talk about how good an athlete you are in the lanes. Well, from the neck up, it's got to be tough each and every week to stay focused on that game in and game out.
Well, you think about it, you're running these weeks in a row, and you're bowling well, putting up big numbers, and you're hoping that one bad string doesn't come, but when it does, you got to be all right with it.
Not only that, you've had games, I've had games that the wood isn't favorable to you. You're bowling well, and you throw a 90 or a low 100, could have been 140, but because of the wood, it changed the whole game.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, every shot, the wood affects, so you just got to take what you get and make them anyways.
Well, you got an easy week next week. A guy named Peter Flynn and Dave Richards.
Never heard of him.
As it is 6 in a row, do you start to think about the record on this show, 9 in a row by John Zappi?
Yeah, I was just talking to Zappi a minute ago. I told him I was going to stuff that and go 9 more, so.
Oh, boy. Well, we look forward to that. He, of course, is your teammate from the Worlds, too, and you're good friends with him, so
yes,
that's something to chase.
Yes, definitely.
Well, Jeff, congratulations. We'll see you back here next week and see if you can live up to that promise.
All right, thanks.
That'll do it for the Candlepin Challenge on Comcast SportsNet. We'll see you next week as well.